Now, for the past few months, I have been looking for a replacement to one of the most iconic compact pocket knives that's ever been created. And since it was first released all the way back in the 1990s to this day, it still performs. It's still a banger, and I think anyone who loves pocket knives should still have this in regular rotation. Now, I gifted my VG10 version to my dad several months ago, so I've been looking around for different steel options, different color patterns, and the knife I'm talking about is a Spyderco. No, it's not the Manix 2. It is the Delica 4 in Cru-Wear, which can exclusively be found over at DLT Trading. When I saw about a week ago that this was going to be released through them, I hit them up immediately. I was like, guys, that colorway, black and green, I mean, it's part of the Gideonstactical logo for crying out loud, and Cru-Wear specifically, I was like, I think this is it. And so we're gonna hop back over here to the Blade Boot Camp so that I can show you what this particular version of the Delica 4 is capable of, what you could maybe expect from the Cru-Wear steel, but just kind of go down memory lane as well and just talk a little bit about what the Delica 4 really brings to the table and whether or not, if it's not in your collection, you should jump on it, or maybe it's an archaic design that belongs back in the 90s. So if you're new to the channel, welcome guys. I'm just gonna set it up right here on the Blade Boot Camp stump, and we're just gonna get after it here because I think it's gonna go quick. At 120 bucks for this thing, and I'll try and link it in the description box below over to my affiliate program with DLT. I mean, that's not much more than what the standard VG10 is, but Cru-Wear is going to hold a better edge and be less chippy than VG10 right away. Now, it is a air-hardened powder steel, powder metallurgy, if I could talk today, steel. So what that means is you're gonna get high toughness, impressive wear resistance, but as we're about to find out here, I think we're gonna be pretty surprised with the ease of resharpening compared to a lot of more, air quotes, premium, high-end steels that sometimes can be a real big bear to resharpen. So one of the first things, we got here a blackout, I think it's like titanium carbonite or carbon. I'll try and annotate it in if I can. Carbonite sounds way cooler. Han Solo getting iced and frozen up with this thing, but gives a cool wear right away. Boba Fett. Apparently I just got like original Star Wars in my mind. Boys are going through that right now, watching it again. I love you. I know. Delica 4 Cru-Wear. I love you. I know. This knife is freaking Han Solo-ing me. Anyway, okay, so the full flat grind is obviously going to slice regardless. I mean, you could have freaking 420J on there and it's going to slice. It won't hold its edge very long, but it'll at least slice it up. And that's part of the desirability of the Delica, is because it's so thin, full flat grind. Is it a screwdriver? Absolutely not. But is it basically like the most epic razor blade ever? Yeah. I mean, that's a water pipe that I didn't even have to barely push through to get through. Then you're getting, with the Cru-Wear, a significantly tougher steel than like traditional D2 or S30V and those type of steels. This is going to be a tougher steel than that. Just goes right through that, no problema. And having already carried a bit, I can tell, and just with through this type of cutting, you're gonna see better edge retention than just your standard VG10, S30V, that type of stuff that you would normally find on just kind of a run-of-the-mill, non-exclusive Spyderco. But some people are like, oh, this steel or that steel is just gonna hold its edge forever. I mean, you're gonna have to resharpen. If you are a user and use your tools, resharpening is key. You're gonna need to do that. Now, Cru-Wear is a semi-stainless, so it's not gonna be able to fight off the rust, say, like VG10 or S30V. So that's why they've put the black coating on there. So you might see patina and some staining on that little uncoated edge portion. By the way, that was a 7,000 pound toe strap. Went through that like it was freaking nothing. Look at that, just going right through it. Yeah, nice. One of a few Tommy the Trail Dog's old leather, what's it called? Leashes. We miss you, buddy. But he would be happy that we have like several of them. We saved one, you know, to remember him by. Since he went on to be with the Lord. All dogs go to heaven. We know that. So where was I going with that? Lost my train of thought. Corrosion. So if you live in a super high humid environment, just be aware of that. But I live about 50 miles or less from the Spyderco headquarters in the Rocky Mountains, so it's not a huge deal for us, unless you like leave it in the snow. We're very low humidity here in the Rockies. Nice. Now, after all this work, because I am working on a stump and there are pebbles and different things, you know, again, if you use your blades, I'm seeing just a little tiny burr right there. Again, not from what I was cutting, but from, you know, material, pebbles and rocks, hard material here. So this is where we can see, and I'm just going to bust out my Work Sharp guided field sharpener Elite. This sucker right here, they recently came out with it. Man, I probably have owned and bought, I don't know, half a dozen of these, gifted several away. Sorry, that was the kiddos. But gifted some away, you know, all that stuff over the years. And then they hit me up and they were like, hey, we got an Elite version with 2 extra stones for extra, like, honeability. And I was like, let's do it. And so now they're just a regular sponsor here at the channel. Awesome stuff that they've been doing for years. And so I'm just running this on a coarse ceramic portion, and I bet you this is going to knock off whatever that little bit was. And that's the cool part about Cru-Wear, is that it's easy to maintain. You're not going to have to do like, oh, I got to sit here for 10 minutes doing my Work Sharp. I can just hit the ceramic a few times. So I'm going to do coarse ceramic, just trying to hit that whole thing nice and easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Oh no, I probably shouldn't say that so it doesn't get like, I don't know, copyright. Stupid, whatever. Anyway, okay, so then I'm just gonna strop this sucker right here, and I'm gonna see if it removed that little burr that we had. Oh no, it might start raining. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, that is scary, dude. Okay, burr is gone, and that is even better than when I got it from the factory. Holy guacamole. And dudes, that was like, I don't know, 10 passes on ceramic and 10 passes on the strop. Okay, so obviously the Cru-Wear is kind of the showstopper of this particular version of a 30-year plus design. But that speaks to the design's longevity, of what it still brings to the table, that there is still a desire for not only different types of steels, but that it's still being produced. You know, a lot of pocket knives have a shelf life and then it's time for them to go. But what I think the Delica 4 really does that many seem to have a hard time with is that the simplicity, like the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid, is what Spyderco followed with. And they really give you no reason to not like the knife. One, it's lightweight, under 3 ounces. 2, you have their 4-way directional tread all the way across it on the FRN, and then steel liners in there to give it a little bit extra, you know, durability than just flexi polymer like some other well-known folders that we know that are out there. So you get some rigidity, some durability, if you will. Then 4-way directional pocket clip, right? I mean, if you like tip up, you can do that. If you want tip down, you can do that. And you have that option with the pocket clip to carry it any which way you want. And especially when these came on the scene, that was one of the few folders that did that. And even to this day, we see a lot of tip up, right or left, but I know there are a few of you weirdos out there that like the tip down method option. So apparently we got a Nerf battle going on with the kiddos around here somewhere. And that's what you got to do sometimes. Nerf battles and knife reviews simultaneously. But the final piece of the puzzle is this, that more knife companies need to learn. These new knife companies or these new designers, I don't know what they don't get that Spyderco does. Now, this being under 3 inches, you know, I can't remember, 2.76 or something overall, 2.6 cutting. You know, it's compact, it's small. It's general utility, EDC. It's not going to give you a bunch of reach. Go with the, you know, Endura or Endella. You know, there's so many different versions out there that are longer. but they give you full real estate on the handle. I mean, I wear large size gloves and I got knife handle hanging out the back, brah. So you don't need to have micro handles. So many of these companies right now are doing these sub 3-inch blades and like sub 3-inch handles or something. It feels like that. And I can't get 4 fingers on them to save my life. And therefore I can't get full leverage. I can't use the tool. And I don't mind a small knife blade. Like, I don't mind it. I see lots of value in it sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. But I need that full grip and real estate to do what I want to do, with or without gloves, and actually use the tool and not just carry it like pocket jewelry. And that is what the Delica 4 did, continues to do, and continues to school some of the new kids on the block when it comes to these tiny, you know, sub 3-inch folders. But anyway, there's tons more obviously with the Delica 4, but I am so glad to have it back in rotation after having gifted that other version to my dad. And I mean, I just had to jump on it. You know, there's lots of limited stuff that comes out all the time, but when I saw that Cru-Wear green combo coated for this particular type of steel, it makes sense. You know, like all those things coming together, I was like, that's the one. That's the one I want to have in regular rotation. But I want to know from you guys, is it for you? And of the Delica series, which one maybe is your favorite, and do you keep it in regular rotation? And especially for you young pups who are coming into the knife world, is it even on your radar? And if so, maybe why or why not? Appreciate you guys so much. Check out the other video. Subscribe if you haven't. If you want to check this out for yourself, DLT's got it, but I don't know for how long. So, till next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. I'll see you out there.